Okay, Brock, the economy just lost 23,000 jobs last month. So naturally, the Fed said, let's think about hiking rates. If that sentence sounds normal to you, then welcome to 2026.
Yeah, right.
This is the Loans Elevated Podcast, your weekly dose of market insights, financing strategies, and all things real estate. Presented by the Lassig team, a top 1% nationally ranked mortgage team.
Well, the crazy thing is inflation is looking better than expectations too.
Yeah.
Lately.
Yeah.
But the claim that I've heard anyway, to them hiking rates is to get prices under control.
Yeah.
And they're less concerned about the jobs.
This is
the
true.
jobs, there's not that much firing happening.
This is true.
And I think what's also not being accounted for in the economy that maybe the new Fed is taking into account is the gig economy that we're in. Because there may be more income being earned that's not visible through the typical lens of jobs numbers.
What do you mean by that? Just like second jobs, like gigs, like online?
Uber,
got it. Yep.
Uber Eats, like all this stuff. People are making money all over the place.
Yeah.
That's not really reported.
Well,
Clearly.
just last week, we were helping a client that's a firefighter, and their whole fire station has, while they're not doing firework, they've got a drop shipping company that the whole station is running out of. It's like, sweet, good for you guys.
So you think Amazon, like Uber, all these things that you can do. Well, now we have AI, so people can just spin up websites overnight and make money on something that they know how to do.
Yeah.
That is one thing in the economy that I think is a sneaky detail, and I don't know how to understand it fully, but I think there's more activity happening than and I wish I would have read this article more, but I read this article that who was it? I think it was Besant, the Treasury guy, that said that the K-shaped economy is over. And I don't know what he means by that. And then there's people saying that arguing.
You mean K-shaped in like the actual shape of like a chart of the way that the economy is running?
What that means is the upper class of the economy is going up because they're less impacted, and the lower class is going down.
The rich get richer and lower. Yep, makes sense.
Yeah, that's something that people have been afraid of. But now there's certain people referencing a C-shaped where that's gonna inverse, where the upper class is going to start heading down and the lower class is going to start turning up.
Did you read enough to say where you could attribute that to? Is it like an AI thing that?
I didn't read enough, but it's just interesting. I wonder if that has something to do with it. If some of this gig economy that's been happening now basically since COVID, so it's really deeply rooted now, I would say, in the economy. Like, is that having some impacts that we can't fully read into yet because it's never existed?
Yeah.
It's 5 years of hundreds of years of history. Like,
for sure.
It's kind of crazy.
It is crazy. So we'll get more into the inflation, more of the market research type stuff. But before we do that, Kira sent me this video she wanted us to react to.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me pull it
By the way, have you seen crypto?
No, is it rallying?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, it's about dang time because I'm sick of it.
It's up like 20% in 2 days.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Shout out to everyone that weathered that storm.
30%. Ripple's up 30% in a day and a half. XRP is up 30% in.
I mean, it's been a dark year for crypto.
It has.
Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Sweetheart, you don't need to be upset. Just vote no.
We prepare to make this decision as a council. We're thinking about you.
You don't have to raise the taxes. This is your choice.
We're thinking about your individual circumstances.
You gave Meta, a $1.5 trillion company, a 20-year tax break. Had you not done that,
remaining.
I don't think we'd be in this financial situation.
Anyways, Kira sent that to me. I saw it had 200,000 likes, and it was in our backyard out of Eagle Mountain. So what I'm seeing is Eagle Mountain hadn't raised its property tax since 2010. Then August 6th, the city council voted unanimously to raise it by 183%. I guess what people are mad about is that in Eagle Mountain, the Meta data center, which the company says will cost more than $1.5 billion back in 2018. Basically, they're stating that they're not getting taxed, which I can see why they're mad about that. But what is your reaction to the video, the whole taxes.
Well, I think it's really easy for community members to get in an uproar about a detail that they're focusing on one side of the coin.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the side of the coin that rightly they probably should be focused on because it's what impacts their family. But the other side of the coin in there, you know, like we had Jaron on talking about the data centers. And this same thing goes where, like, the city didn't negotiate a tax break for no reason. They negotiated a tax break because Facebook is investing a tremendous amount of money into the community of Eagle Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Now, could it be allocated to could this tax hike on ordinary residents be allocated to that? I mean, maybe, but it's probably not that at all.
Yeah.
It probably just is something that
I think you just got to read between the lines a little bit. You can't take it for face value. Even like when it goes back to everyone freaking out about the amount of water usage that these data centers were going to take. And when we looked into it deep in the podcast, it's like, okay, it's not as much as we think.
Right. It's not as much as the emotional outbursts make it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
And could it have an impact? Maybe. I don't know. But them investing in the community is also a positive. So, like, I don't know.
Well, no hike since 2010s. That's a long time.
Well, yeah. There's been no property tax hike since 2010.
Yeah. So what Eagle Mountain hadn't raised its property tax rate since 2010. Then on August 6th is when they decided to increase by 183%.
So I mean, that just seems like poor management in the city,
right?
Because they should have been hiking it up gradually. Just like every other, like mine. I feel like mine has gone up every single year. The tax rate has gone up every year,
by
just a little bit. You know, which over 16 years was probably 183%.
Yeah,
but it just happened in little chunks, so it didn't feel like that.
Yeah, and I think personally we're still in better situations than other states on property taxes. So it's
for sure.
We're a non-disclosure state. Like, you're protected in other areas. So
yeah,
it is what it is in a little bit of this sense.
Right. I'm curious. Can you search on that?
Yeah.
What, like, just look at Salt Lake County. So say from 2010 to 2026, what is Salt Lake County's property tax rate change?
I'll just say, what did Salt Lake County do in that same time span?
Yeah. I'll bet you it's similar. It just didn't happen in one swoop.
Yeah. Yeah. The one swoop and feeling that impact right at once is probably what's got people frazzled.
Which sucks. I mean, that is wildly irresponsible of the city.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, families, that's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot. That's hundreds per month. And there's probably families that can't pay their bills as it is.
Oh, wow. Okay. So this shows that if it would have been calculated to be the same in one bite, Eagle Mountain is 183%, while Salt Lake County is 24% over the same 16 years. So that's 8 times the difference.
Wow.
That is big.
Okay, so I got a different answer.
Love it.
So it says an aggregate total increase from 2010 to 2026 is between 72 and 78%.
Yeah, it's nowhere near the same.
Yeah, total tax bills up 75%, whereas home values are up 155%.
What does it say about Eagle Mountain?
Yeah, that's one city, too, which is interesting, because that's the whole county.
Yeah.
Well, the other interesting thing is Eagle Mountain is a small tertiary community. So it's like that's also a risk you take in a new community that's being built and developed. I mean, they've had issues for, I want to say, decades with their infrastructure in the city. Like, they can't develop the way they need to develop because, like, their system literally can't handle it.
What do you mean? Like, they can't keep up with the amount of people coming in?
Well, right. They can't. They need housing, but they can't get housing because the sewer system can't handle it. And so it's like, who's going to pay for it?
Even the roads.
Right. Yeah. 0 increases for 15 years and then one massive one.
Yeah, poor management is what it comes down to. I think, like
that's
we said
what
earlier.
I think. Because it wouldn't be that big of a deal had they increased because it's like since 2010, I mean, it went from being a place where practically nobody lived to kind of a booming area in that time period. So I do think it's just poor management, it seems like.
I mean, we've seen it from that area being rural housing, USDA loans, to now there's parts of it that aren't. Like, it's harder to find it. It's growing like crazy.
Kids, I mean, we live here in Salt Lake, at the south end of Salt Lake, and we go play football teams
Out
in
that
Eagle
area,
Mountain.
yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's not rural anymore.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's interesting.
So while all this is happening, there's houses that are sitting in neighborhoods for 90 days. The sellers think that the market's broken, and the market obviously thinks otherwise, and thinks that the price is broken. So something that I was just doing some research on, I think is kind of funny, is there's now whole Reddit threads where agents and sellers are just putting their house on this thread and like, hey, what's wrong with my house? They put their listing there, and everyone just parades it. They go through it, telling exactly what's wrong with it, from price to looks to everything.
These are agents and
agents
consumers?
and consumers. Yep. So from one of these people, they realized that they were overpriced dramatically. They dropped it from $650 down to $590, and then changed some things with the house. They instantly got 4 offers.
Oh, wow.
From Reddit advice. So I think agents, if you're not using just not only AI but public advice, use that, because you got to let your ego aside. If you really want to sell your client's house and they need to move, let's get outside opinions in.
Well, and I would say clients, because the truth is, from my perspective anyway, the best agents would give that same advice that Reddit gave, and they wouldn't need Reddit because they know it. They're the experts.
Exactly.
So clients should recognize that if an agent is courageous enough to tell them that their house is overpriced, they should probably trust that advice. Now, they should verify it. They should make sure it's validated in some way. But I see agents all the time that are like, dude, your house is overpriced. And the ones that are not overpriced, like I just had a buddy who we just helped buy a house down in St. George. He's selling his house here. He happens to be an agent himself. He listed his house in one weekend, got 4 offers. And like multiple offers. There was somebody willing to go up like over 10% above list price with an escalation clause.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it's like,
yeah, there's pockets where it still booms. If you
I don't
price
even
it
think
right,
it's pockets.
if you
I think it's strategy.
market right.
Yeah. It's like if you're dumb and you overprice it, no one's going to look at your house, and then it's going to sit on the market forever, and no one's going to look at it because they feel like it's the ugly goose or something like that. There's something wrong with it because it's sat on the market long enough. If you price it right in the beginning, multiple offers. I hear that every week. Every week I talk to agents. I hear multiple offers on deals.
Yeah,
and it's
here.
because they priced it right.
Same here, which I just find it so interesting that I think it's because agents the market's slower, so they haven't closed deals, and so they're afraid to be not combative, to be the true leader that a real estate needs to be when leading clients, and say, hey, you might think it's worth this, but here's what the data says. Let's list it here and just see where we go.
I just think, sadly, it's a saturated industry with people that don't actually know what they're doing all the time.
Could be. But I mean, 84% of agents haven't closed a deal.
Exactly. But so, why have they not closed a deal? They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. And there is less transactions going around too.
Sure.
So if they haven't got one, they're going to do whatever their client says they want to do at fear of losing their client.
Right. So the client needs to be cautious of that.
Right. Exactly.
If you get a yes man, that's somebody who probably doesn't know what
you might as well
doing.
just list yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Get someone on your side.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense. Well, let's go back to the this whole jobs report and CPI, because CPI has been what we've been told to watch. Even with the new Fed, it was tame, only 0.1% monthly increase, 3.5% annual, core is 2.5%. The Fed still is aiming towards that 2%, and I think Jackson Hole's coming up pretty soon too.
Yeah, I think, I don't know when it is.
I think it's like the next couple weeks. So with that being said, usually Jackson Hole is pretty big market moving based off the statements that the Fed makes.
Well, right, but remember, the Fed no longer makes statements.
Oh, that is true. That is true. I wonder is Jackson Hole, do they have like a report or something that will come out?
I don't know. So yeah, that's next week. I don't know because Warsh is changing everything. There's not, which I mean I like, because the truth is the market was reacting to what it's like. It was not a free market dynamic completely. Yeah. It was like a guided market for so long.
Yeah.
Now the Fed is forcing the market to interpolate data and decide, like, okay, what does this mean? And what risks are we willing to take and what risks are we unwilling to take? And then the Fed guides their decisions based on how the market is behaving, not the market behaving based on what the Fed says. That's a way more healthy environment.
No, that's true.
But it's a complete 180 of what we've experienced for a long time now. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be pretty volatile for the next while.
Yeah, especially as we
like
still
in
have
the tune of
conflict
years.
overseas. Yeah, It's ridiculous. It's legit the same story of last year. Rates at this time last year were 6.63%. Right now we're at 6.69%, so nearly identical.
Wow. Well,
had some peaks and valleys in that time, but sitting in a very similar market, which I think buyers are starting to come around to that too. As we're talking to buyers, they know what rates are at. They're prepared for it.
Well, what I keep talking to agents about when I talk to them, or I guess anybody in the industry, is we have noticed we have way fewer opportunities within our team, meaning our new referrals are way down comparatively. But our applications are not way down. So the people that come and talk to us are way more serious than they were. So the people that are hoping for that have kind of more or less been weeded out. And now those that are making moves are ready to make moves. And I feel like come in eyes wide open. They know rates are high. They have no weird expectations, but it is a dang good opportunity to negotiate, which those people that are buying see that and believe that.
Oh, for sure. You can even see that. Like, so the average listing price across the Wasatch Front is the mid 7s, but the average sold price is the low 6s.
Interesting. Yeah. So well, that tells the same story. People are overpriced.
Exactly. Yep. And there's opportunity for negotiating power.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Maybe. If they're reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah. If they're living in the right time frame.
Yeah. Because it seems like the unreasonable sellers won't negotiate, and the ones that will negotiate price properly in the beginning, and they get multiple offers.
And I do think you get some sellers that are like, you know what, I'll just throw it up on the market and ought to make me sell price.
Right.
If they bite, great. If not, I'm in no rush.
Yeah.
Which is, I wish there's a way to take that out of the data. But
I mean, you probably could, just stuff that has sat on the market
for over 180 days.
Or even 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah. So true.
Because things are selling in 1 week if it's priced right.
Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah. Most definitely. So, yeah, I mean, things are same story running in place. We've said this a couple times, but anything else you want to add?
No. One thing comes to mind is the Fed, if you remember, this is something that the Fed has said, Warsh has said multiple times, and I feel like is not discussed enough. He explicitly said they want inflation at a 2 handle, left of the decimal point. So if it's 2.9 or 2.1, it's
matter.
2. It probably matters because like 2.9 is mighty close to 3. You know, so it probably matters some. But and they're trying to find like that trimmed mean PCE. So like if we look at CPI, sometimes you hear these data points come out and it's like, oh man, inflation's really high above the Fed's 2% target. It's like, well, that isn't their target. CPI is not their target. You know, and they haven't announced. But as far as I've heard, the closest thing I've heard to an announcement of what they actually want to pay attention to is trimmed mean PCE, which is at 2 point something. So like the rate hikes, I don't know, maybe that's just the market trying to bet, and it's going to take several meetings and several months or a year for the market to finally say, okay, fine, we'll start making decisions independently. And that's where I think things are going to be pretty volatile.
But do you think that because there's a 40% chance that they increase rates next meeting?
Well, sure, but that's just the market betting on what the Fed's going to do,
right?
Because that's what they're used to doing.
But do you think that they increase rates, mortgage rates fall because they like that, they might combat inflation? I don't think that's good for the economy still. Like I still am under the belief personally that we haven't seen the effects of rate hikes from even last year or from 2 years ago.
Well, I mean, I disagree because we're seeing it in housing. Housing is depressed. Multi-decade lows we've been in for now half a decade.
And we're not getting all that data yet from the housing, right? We're just now getting it, and we want to keep increasing. Whereas, like, that doesn't make sense.
Right, but then the other side of the economy is on fire. Everything else is booming.
Yeah.
Stocks
consumer debt's still
outrageous.
increasing, though.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It is. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, like the way I see it is it's good for rates but bad for the economy.
Maybe. We've talked about this whole idea of the Great Reset, and I feel like we're seeing it happen now. It's not a cliff that we're going to see, but things are resetting. Like, it's changing completely. And I've been in the industry for 18 years, and it's today very, very different than it's ever been. And we're on a completely different path. Like, everything has shifted. So, like, that Great Reset idea, I think, is happening before our eyes. So I don't know that we can.
Only time will tell.
Yeah.
And I think the hard part in the middle of this is just the conflict overseas too, because it just throws a giant wrench in everything.
Yeah, and it's sketch. I don't know what it means. But also that could be part of the Great Reset. You know, people are talking about the world order shifting and changing. It is. It is shifting and changing. Like, the U.S. is doing things it hasn't done in the past. That's impacting how other nations in the Middle East behave. It's impacting relations with us and Israel. Clearly us and Iran, and us and the UAE. Like, everything is shifting right now. And the Fed is changing it. Like, so much is, and we're at debt levels that are obscene. But then some months with the tariffs, we see really good trade deficits. So it's like so much is changing right now. I just don't think I think it's really hard to forecast. I think we just have to wait and see.
Yeah. You know, what is on the rise, though, is the outside of the box stuff, which there's more options for the unique buyers right now than there ever has been with bank statement loans, DSCR, 1099. Like, there's options for these people, especially when they can go in and buy and negotiate the terms that are going to be beneficial to them. Like, for example, we locked in a bank statement loan at a rate of like 7.125%, which, if you look at historical data, those non-QM loans, they're usually much higher rates than that compared to
Right, they're normally
the
1 to
market rate is.
1.5%
So if the market
higher.
rate, if the market right now is 6.6, well,
Right.
you're talking about 0.5% difference.
Yeah.
Which could be the great equalizer right now if you don't fit the normal mold.
Well, that's
for
what I was
financing.
going to say. Like, it is a wait and see thing. There's so much changing, but when there is unrest and it's scary, those that win are those that have the cojones to actually take action.
Yep.
And the people that want to take action happen to commonly be the entrepreneurial people.
Yeah.
And the
So true.
entrepreneurial people need these programs.
Yeah.
So, I would agree with that.
And the market's seeing it too. Just 18 months ago is 1 in 20 homes that were financed with non-QM financing. Now it's 1 in 10. So it is shifting that way. And if you're a real estate agent and you're not doing that, we're hosting an event September 24th at the Hill Center Theater. We'll make sure that we include the link to that in the description, but you need to be there if you're not already utilizing these out of the box programs, because it's a game changer for your business.
Yeah. It's a huge portion of the business happening. So,
For sure.
Cool. Love it.
Sweet. Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. If you like this, please subscribe and send it to someone that's been tracking the market. We'd love to hear your feedback, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the Loans Elevated podcast. For more resources, tools, and market updates, visit loanselevated.com. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for next week's episode.